Hey, boys and girls, back for another episode. I was going to try it out again, kind of through my smart board, so hopefully my pen works. We're going to do some word problems today. It's really, mostly the same adding and subtracting we've been doing this week, just in word problem form. Right, we're going to use what's called the RDW process. That just stands for read, draw, and write. And I picked kind of the one for you guys that you wouldn't have to do the kind of the writing part at the end, but I have talked with my group that we are going to start using that in the next couple of weeks, and especially I think a lot after February vacation, just to kind of get you guys used to it or used to expressing the answers differently. All right, so let's start with R for read. Let's read our question and see what is there. Allie's little sister wanted to help her make some oatmeal cookies. First, she put 5/8 cup of oatmeal in the bowl. Next, she added, so I like that word, that tells you I'm going to add these together, another 5/8 cup of oatmeal. Finally, she added another 5/8 cup. So I like this because this wasn't kind of a tricky word problem where I couldn't figure out what they wanted me to do. I could just kind of see it and figure it out easily. Okay, how much oatmeal did she put in the bowl? And it's asked you not to put units. So I don't want you to put like something eighths cups or C. Just again, basically, what is the answer? That's all they want right now in our answer box. So this is a different problem than the one that you guys are going to have, but now I want to show you the steps. So that was read. The next part of this would be the draw. And that's kind of just what it sounds like. Again, either on a piece of paper with a pencil or on a whiteboard with a marker, or again, one of those little sleeves you got in your bag from when you got your new Chromebooks. Just draw out a box. Right, now we're going to chop it in. Again, we always look at that bottom number. Our bottom number is already all in eighths. That seems like a good place to start. So when I'm chopping something into eighths, again, I cut the whole thing in half. Then I chop my halves in half to make fourths. Then I chop my fourths in half to make eighths. Right in between each of those different parts. And if I did that correctly, there should be 7 green lines. Use one less line than you want spaces. You can count that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spots. And then on my first day, or the first time Allie is helping, they did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I did too many. They did 5/8. So that was that first try. On the second try, they're going to do another 5/8. So they get added, which again already tells me more. Again, I'm going to do, there's 6, 7, there's 8. Again, that was already 3 more. So again, I'm 5. I need 2 more in my next box. Let me keep my same pattern. Again, let me chop that up. Again, I want to keep everything in eighths. Again, I cut it in half, cut my halves in half. Now that one's a little off. Let me see if I can move it. Not the one I wanted to move. Never mind. Okay, here's then 4 and then 5. Again, this is my original 5/8 that Allie and her sister did. These two parts combine, make another 5/8. And then there was then a third example. Let me pick a different color. Where they also again added another 5/8. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, now I'm trying to figure out, well, what is my actual answer here? I can see a couple different ones. Oh, and then this one was in purple, another 5/8. Couple different things I could do. And I can notice that I did 5/8 plus 5/8 plus 5/8 equals 15/8. This is going to be important. I'm going to use this in the next part. Or I can also note, if I'm just counting this out, how I did 1 entire cup of oatmeal plus I did 7/8 of another one. So either of those answers would be fine. Again, for most of you yesterday, as I was looking through your work, most of you were just putting 15/8 in here. Again, if I click submit, it would tell me I was correct. Okay, again, for those of you challenging yourself a little more, you would do, again, the 15/8 had no spaces. If you're going to do the mixed number, 1 and 7/8, then we do need to split those up. The 1, then we need to put a space, and then the 7, and then the 8. 1 and 7/8. See how that space that separates our whole number from our fractional piece. And when I submit it, it says I'm correct. Go on to the next problem. Again, and then this is the part, again, not necessarily today, because you guys actually don't have this, I think, on yours. But eventually, we're going to get to the point where we are going to start using these. And it could be something simple, just like this one. Again, in this little part here, let me see if I can move this out of the way. All right, you click on, there's this little thing, looks like the division symbol. I would then just want you to show me kind of where you got that answer from. All right, 5/8 plus, oh, I put the plus in the wrong spot. You got to click back over here. Plus 5/8. And I'm just going to pause this and then just fill it in. So hold on, give me a second. Okay, so I just filled the rest of it in, so you have to sit there and watch me do that. And eventually we're going to get to the part where we're going to write it out as an equation. 5/8 plus 5/8 plus 5/8 equals 15/8, or 1 and 7/8. You then hit OK, and it then puts that in here for you. And then normally, too, again, if we were doing our regular, we would be typing out the sentence that goes with it. Usually take the actual question and flip it around. How much oatmeal did she put in the bowl? And then I would write something like, Allie put 1 and 7/8 cups of oatmeal in the bowl. And I can even get rid of the word and there. Again, just as long as I have a space between those. And when I hit submit answer, this is then what your teacher would see. The equation and then the one sentence. So it's different kind of writing, like ELA. I'm not looking for paragraphs or a story about random things about the time you went to the zoo with your family. Just what numbers did you use to get what answer? And then just answer the question. All right, let me erase this. I'll pause again. All right, so going back to our RDW method, first thing I'm doing is just reading this. Marcia baked 2 pans of brownies. Her family ate 1 and 5/6 pans. I know some of you are sitting here saying, well, we haven't done 2 minus 1 and 5/6 yet, which is technically correct. Again, what I would be looking for you to do, again, either on a piece of paper with a pencil or again a whiteboard and marker, is just draw it out. When in doubt, draw it out. Okay, there's my 2 pans of brownies. Her family is going to eat 1 entire pan. I don't even have to mark that up then. I'm just going to X out the entire pan. And then she ate 5, and then they ate 5/6 of this one. 6 are a little trickier, and you chop the whole thing into thirds. Then you cut each third in half to get 6. So again, they ate this entire one, the whole pan, Plus they ate this one, this one, this one, this one, and that one. I don't know why that just switched to black. And that one. Nope, still black. How much is left? Just this little piece over here. I don't know why my pen's not working. Gotta pause again. Okay, so sorry for the technical difficulties. Right, so again, I can draw that out and see that there's just 1/6 left, which I could put in as my answer over here. So there's no like more than one different way to do it. It's just 1/6, 1/6 with no spaces. Now some of you might be saying, well, how would I do that math-wise? The 2, I can call a couple different things. If I'm thinking in terms of 6, I can think of it as 12/6, because that's just 2 whole pieces. And then 1 and 5/6, again, 1 is 6/6. And if I have 2, it's 6/6 plus 6/6, which is 12. 1 and 5/6 becomes 11/6. And then it's just 12 minus 11 equals 1. And then there's a 6 on the bottom. The other way to do it, which is similar, more like what we learned this week, is we're actually only going to borrow 1 from the 2. We're going to change, I'll switch colors to see if that helps. We're going to change 2, the kind of more official way to this is to 1 and 6/6. My 2 whole pieces, one of them I left is just 1, and then the 6/6. Because then I can leave this one as 1 and 5/6. This will help a lot with what we're going to do next week. Okay, and then it's just fraction minus fraction, always where you start. 6/6 minus 5/6 is 1/6. And then 1 minus 1 is 0. So those basically cancel each other out. Again, either way, you notice I ended up getting either with my picture. The picture was actually the easiest method here. I know some of you don't want to draw it out or take the time to make that picture, but it was actually quite helpful. And I'd submit the answer, go to the next problem. Oh, it's stuck again. 2 more technical. Okay, no, I'm going a little long because I've had to pause a couple times. I wanted to do one more with you, really get you a good idea of how to do this and what to focus on. Again, with my R first step. Joni wrote a letter that was 1 1/4 pages long. Katie wrote a letter that was 3/4 page shorter. So that's a good clue I'll talk about in a second. How long was Katie's letter? So again, what we already know or what we're already thinking about, that was our read. Next is our draw. And make Joni's letter. She filled 1 entire page plus, I'm going to go this way because that's typically how we write on a page. Cut it in half, cut the halves in half, a little off on my half there. But she filled that much. She did this whole one. So again, I am going to need to chop into fourths as well. So again, Joni wrote 1 entire page plus 1/4 of a second page. We're trying to find how big Katie's letter is. Katie's is 1/4 pages shorter. So does that mean that I'm going to only do something with 3/4? Does that mean I'm going to add 3 more, that 1, 2, and 3? Or am I going to take away 3? 1, 2, and 3. Again, if someone is shorter, or if something is shorter, that means it's less, or there's less of it. So that means we're going to go with the X's. We're going to actually take 3 spots away. We're going to take away 1/4, 2/4, and 3/4. So Katie's letter was this long. Good. So I know some of you aren't really enjoying or don't want to take the time to do the picture, but they're actually very, very, very helpful. And if you're in school, we'd be having you do those a lot more and show your work and explain your thinking more. I'm trying to incorporate that stuff more into what we're doing. And again, it's just counting. There's 1/4 and 2/4. So that's our answer. And they don't want you to put pages or anything in there. Just 2/4. We could also call that half a page, which again we'll get into a different time. and then submit. It says I'm correct. I go to the next problem. Like I said, eventually we're going to start getting into this more as well. Let me get rid of my pictures. Again, I would just show something like we just did. Get rid of that, where it was like 1. I don't need you to write a lot, just something like 1 and 1/4. And then we subtract, wrong spot. Got to click over on the side. We subtracted 3/4. And we ended up, the equal is to do from the keyboard, at 2/4. Okay, and then I could just, and I said, or 1/2. I don't want to do it that way. If I click this again, or again, we talked about before, we could also call that 1/2 page. Click OK. It puts my equation in the big box. I can hit enter a time or two, and then just answer that. Katie wrote, or Katie's letter would be the better way to answer it, because that's what was in the question, was 2/4 pages long. Again, or you could, I forgot the L. Or you could also then choose to say Katie's letter was 1/2 page long. Yeah, not looking for you to write a ton, just a quick show me what numbers you use to figure out the answer, and then what is the actual answer. I know in the other part they didn't want you to write pages, but here I do. She wrote, her letter was 1/2 page long. And then you hit submit, and then that's what will go in there. All right, I know it's a little longer today, but it's problem solving, so it takes a little more time. And hopefully that helps. You're going to have 6 completely different problems on your assessments, and it won't have the writing section today. It'll just have you put the answer in. Remember, if it is like a mixed number, it would want it as like 1 space 2/6, 1 and 2/6. Yeah, or you could call that 8/6, depending on if that was the question, and it should accept both. All right, and I will see you guys in the morning.